the splash signing of Roy Lopez to the Detroit Lions. Listen, this has been one of the more polarizing times, in my opinion, during the Brad Holmes era. And it's at a time where the Detroit Lions are no longer in a position where they're having to go out there and find major pieces. They're nipping and tucking right now. They're trying to find a way to go from, we can get to the Super Bowl to, that's a team that will win the Super Bowl. Just want your temperature right now on the job that Brad Holmes is doing, as well as kind of the perspective or outlook ahead.
Depth. Just go get depth. And we talked about that at the trade deadline last year. Go get depth. Go get multiple guys along that defensive line who can help you. I don't have a problem with it. And you lose one of your corners, you go out and get the best corner on the market. Like, how do you complain about that? What are we doing?
What are we doing? I love it, man.
Well, let me ask you this, because I disagreed with some of what Brad Holmes has done. Although I'm not mad, just a little anxious. Would you like to see Brad Holmes make one more move on the defensive line?
Trey Hendrickson, go get him. I would love to see that. I know it might not be realistic. There are other people who are out there. And when you look at the numbers for Josh Sweat, is that something you're willing to go and pay to get a piece that really solidifies your defensive line and your edge? Maybe. I mean, how important is that to you? You got to pay all these guys at some point too. So people will look at it and say, and you got two camps here. You need one good year and you win one Super Bowl and nothing else matters after that. Or you have a few years of sustainability where you have many bites at the apple if you structure this roster correctly. And those are the two competing sort of camps in this. Do you throw everything all in and you might miss, or do you try to sustain this over the course of a few years? As Lions fans, we should be trying to sustain this. Give me 3 or 4 bites at the apple, and if you miss on that 1 year because of injuries or whatever else, that might be it. You don't have a chance to re-sign some of your top guys if you do that.
Yeah, Rod, and you know what? When just kind of looking at the Detroit Lions as well, and the draft is just kind of a little over a month away. What's the perspective there? Because obviously, if you do trade for Trey Hendrickson, it will eat into that draft capital. I don't think that it's going to necessarily gut them, but this looks like a draft that is deep for pass rush. If they don't make that trade, how are you feeling if they decide to load up defensive end-wise in this draft? Me, personally, I'm starting to lean to, if you see a guy in that top 20, top 10, top 15, someone falls to you. I know someone in the chat earlier, they're hoping that Abdul Carter falls to a position where the Lions are like, you know what, we got to go up there and grab him. I don't think it's going to be possible. I am more in line with what our guys KG and Philo have talked about. Landon Jackson,
Abdul Carter
Pierce
might fall to 2.
Right. Right. Thank you, Ryan.
There will be a whole investigation if he falls to 2. Like, he's not falling to 10. No.
He knows Brady Quinn.
Yeah, but there are guys in this draft that KG and Flannel have covered that make a lot more sense for the Detroit Lions. And regardless if it's trading up or drafting, taking some players, just wanted your temperature on that as well.
We know how draft picks are, and draft picks are going to take a while to develop. And if you're saying this is their window right now in the next 3-ish, 4-ish years, do you have time to wait for an edge rusher to develop? Again, we're back in that camp of, do you go all in on a Trey Hendrickson right now and give up whatever it costs, or do you wait for younger guys to develop? And we're seeing with these corners that it might happen quickly, or it might take a little bit to do it. That's the big question here. I think the draft picks are there. You're not picking in the top 10 like in previous years, so you might have to wait a little bit longer unless you just get a value pick late in the first round.
And Rod, you know that Zadarius Smith, was somebody that we brought in, and we did get solid production from him. It took a lot of fans by surprise when they went out and released him. But when you kind of dig into it, you realize, like, okay, there might have been some money going into 2026 that they wanted to kind of retain. So they end up saving some money on the cap. But do you think there's a chance that they do re-sign Zadarius Smith to this Lions roster?
Yeah, there's always a chance, and you just got to let the money settle and see where the market takes you. That if you go out and you get DJ Reed for less than you ended up, that Carlton Davis ended up making, you're doing all right in terms of cap space. So I think that's part of the game that you got to play, is let some of the dust settle, see where guys go, and see what those costs end up being.
Yeah, makes sense. And I got to get your opinion just on what you're seeing from the NFC North in general. A lot of moves being made. You look at Chicago, they're improving their offensive line. You know, you got the Vikings.
You laughing at the Bears. I love it.
So I'm just saying, but Ryan, give me your opinion. Give me your opinion on what you're seeing just around the NFC North.
First, we're going to channel our inner Andy Isaac and FTB. Let's start there.
Damn right.
Yes.
Damn right. Rest in peace, man.
And the Vikings, it's just like the flaming Elmo. You just do like this, like lose all of your quarterbacks, lose everything that you care about, everything just burn around you, Vikings. Whatever, man. Yeah, let's go NFC North. This is going to be a but again, you look at the Lions and their schedule. This isn't going to be a cakewalk either in the NFC North. So the Vikings, they've made some changes around the edges, but the quarterback position is going to be the biggest issue for them.
Yeah, absolutely. They better hope J.J. McCarthy's good. But that's not our problem, at least as of now. But what is our, not the opposite of a problem, we hope, DJ Reed. I know you alluded to it at the beginning a little bit, but what are your final thoughts, or at least your initial thoughts on the DJ Reed signing?
He's tough. He's handsy. He might go out and get some penalties, but he knows how to play defense. And 5'9", but he's not the traditional sort of bigger corner that you want, but he's not going to get run over. And technique-wise, he's doing really good. On our website, we've got some film review of DJ Reed from Richard Silva that will give you a little bit more insight into how he plays and what the concerns might be.
Hey, and you know what, Rod, before we get into this next segment, we got to talk about these Detroit Pistons who are tied right now, three-way tie for fourth place with the Pacers and the Bucks. Listen, this was hotly debated on the show yesterday. It got emotions up. I don't even understand why, but I need you to help us settle this. Mario Lopez or Wayne Brady?
Wait, what?
Listen, KG and I said Wayne Brady. Chase and Flannel said Mario Lopez.
Do it for the culture, Ryan. Come on.
You saw what I'm saying?
What are we talking about? What? Why?
I don't even know how this came up, to be honest with you.
It's Wayne Brady just on the strength of Chappelle.
Let's go.
I don't need to consider anything else.
Let's go. You know what? Let's get to this next segment.
Wayne Brady.
Hey, you know what? That's another one of the tally.
Riverside.
JB, what friends we gotta say what up though too?
I gotta tell him about Mertz.
JB over there.